top of the list for my 5 defining albums as an artist would have to be Check Your Head by the Beastie Boys. Obviously, if you're familiar with the Beastie Boys, you'll know that that album was the first album that they really decided to play their instruments, whereas before they were just rapping and using samples. So it was a real blend of funk and rock and hip hop and stuff, which is kind of like, you know, it opened the door for a band like us to explore the same kind of, you know, eclectic selection of tunes. So yeah, Check Your Head by Beastie Boys is a massive influence on us. Also around the same time, Red Hot Chili Peppers' Blood Sugar Sex Magic came out, and that really kind of was a blend between, you know, rock and funk and a little bit of hip hop and stuff. And it was at a time when I was just starting to get into hip hop, or I'd been into it for a little while, having come from just listening to metal. So I don't know, it was a cool blend of things that were really, you know, on my radar at the time. And yeah, it was an influential record, and like I just loved it that there was like 17 tracks or something, and they're all like 4 minutes long. It was a huge album, and then every single that came out had, you know, B-sides. It was an epic record, and probably the peak of their creativity in my personal opinion. Queens of the Stone Age, Songs for the Deaf, that's a massive influence. I don't know if you can hear it that much, but more and more so it's creeping into our music, the stoner rock kind of, or desert rock, whatever you want to call it, fuzz guitars and stuff. The new album that we've put out does feature quite a bit of that. Well, a few songs, Drop C, super fuzzed out guitars. Yeah, just a banging record. Mr. Scarface is Back by Scarface. That was a pretty influential record on me. He's from the Ghetto Boys. I had already been listening to Ghetto Boys for a while, but when that solo album came out, it was just super funky. There were so many rad funk samples on there, and the production was really raw, but I just had a good vibe to it. There was one thing particularly about it, I think, that was different a lot to the other hip hop stuff that I was listening to, was that it was like very fast paced for the time. Like there was a lot of songs, there was a few songs on there that like 110, 120 beats per minute, which is a bit more energetic than most of the hip hop that was around. A lot of hip hop was kind of sitting around 80, 90 beats per minute, and a bit more like laid back, you know, deeper grooves or whatever. But the Scarface record had quite a few like quick kind of jams on it, and I really liked that. Like I thought it was really cool. So yeah, that was quite influential on some of my tunes. Straight Outta Compton by NWA, that's hard to overlook. That was probably the album that really got me into hip hop. Wasn't really listening to it much before that, and then yeah, Fuck the Police came out, and damn, it just smashed its way into my brain. Yeah, awesome record.